Hi everyone, welcome to NIBM's Global Webinar. So today we are going to deal with the webinar topic that is creating value through employee training and development. So coming to the training and development aspects of a company, when it comes to training and development, a company or an organization needs to understand why there is a need that the employees in an organization needs to be trained or developed. So training and development which needs to be given to a particular individual depends upon the fact or the criteria that what are the kind of skill sets that the particular employee is having. So why should the employees be trained, and why should be they trained for a particular skill set or not? So if a particular employee is lacking on a particular skill set, if he is being provided with the proper kind of training and development program or things like that, he would be able to hone his skills and he would be able to give maximum productivity to the organization, and he would be able to make his work activity much faster. So these are some of the criteria which needs to be met when providing a training and development to an employee. So once we give a training and development to a particular employee, it would boost his performance, it would reduce the time and give the maximum output to the company. So in the end, the company is benefiting as well as the employee is also benefiting himself. And the most important three important aspects which we need to consider while providing a training and development to an employee is the skills, knowledge and the attitude of the employee. So we need to keep a check on what are the skill sets that the employee as an individual have within him when performing a work. So initially when we provide a training and development program, there is a need that we need to analyze a team or a particular set of employees in a company. We need to analyze what are their key or the core strengths and weaknesses, what are the skill sets that they are actually good at, and what are the skill sets that they are actually lacking, which is required for that work to be performed. So once we identify that, we could come to an analysis, and we could create a plan or a procedure where we could train them to a particular skill set which they are lacking, and make sure that at the end they would acquire that skill and they would be able to implement it much better. So that is the thing when it comes to skills. And next thing is the knowledge, making sure that they have the required knowledge or not, and to provide this kind of knowledge and to impart and create an awareness regarding why we need to conduct such kind of a training and development program, why we need to impart this kind of a knowledge to the individual. So to make sure that they would get the idea like why they need to go through, why they need to undergo through this training and development program. Another aspect is the ability and how well they are able to grasp things from this training and development program, whether they would be able to grasp it quickly or whether they would take a considerable period of time to learn things and do a testing phase or something like that and implement it. So initially when a program or a training and development program is started, we would be analyzing these things and all, and those kind of skill sets will be provided, or that kind of a knowledge would be imparted to this set of employees. And once that knowledge is imparted, they would be practically trained in how to implement that kind of a skill set, and they would be put into a testing phase where they would be provided a work sample or a work procedure which is similar to the kind of a real-time environment, and in that particular manually set real-time environment, they would be provided with a work sample and they would be asked to work or implement it practically, and finally they would be able to monitor and analyze the results that have been obtained, and they would be able to identify whether the training and development program has been a success or not, or whether if it has been a failure, try to identify those aspects which are lacking in him, or those things which have been left out from the training and development program, and try to improve it. So this is the way how a typical training and development program happens in a company. So why is there a need to train and develop these employees? In today's organizations, the kind of technology which is being adopted by each and every company is changing actually. So technological updations are happening day by day, and also software changes are happening, and new work techniques are being adopted by companies to make their work output faster and to make things hassle-free. So there is a need to identify or to understand these new technologies and make sure that all the employees who are working under that particular field have an idea regarding how to learn these things and how to implement it in the right way. So if they have to do it in the right way, there is a need that they need to go through this training phase in order to quickly learn those things and implement it, not just for the sake of the productivity, but as for their own good. And other important factor is that when it comes to industrial areas and all, even the equipments are being updated, and they are coming with high-tech equipments are being introduced into the market these days. So there is a need to there's a necessity to learn how to handle these kind of equipments and all. So so these kind of changing equipments and changing work techniques and changing workplace needs an individual who is ready to change himself and who is ready to learn more day by day, so that his work technique will be improved according to the change in technology and change in the current work techniques. So another important aspect is the present day role of training is mainly focused on improving the productivity and the role of the individual in the organization as a whole. So once he develops these kind of skill sets and when he is able to adapt to this kind of a work procedure that is happening in an organization, there would be no hindrance to his work that is being performed in the company. And when it comes to a training training program, the company would be having a core trainer who is specialized in that kind of a field or an area. So there is a need, or it is a necessity, that they need to have a person who has a sound knowledge and who has sound practical experience in working in that particular domain or aspect in which he is training or providing the training program to the employees. And other important aspect is the companies introduce new team or batch the team as a particular department, and according to the kind of skill sets or the kind of thing that they actually require to be trained, so as to motivate them and also to help them to identify their own skills. So once they have been provided with the training program, the employees get an idea regarding that these are the things that they actually lacked and how important it was for them to learn these things, so that they as an individual would be able to implement it more quickly and all. So ultimately both employees and or employers in the company will be able to identify the core or the key aspects which was lacking within themselves, and they would be able to make sure that the company is following the right track in attaining what it ultimately requires from the side of the employees. So we could see that when it comes to employee training and development, it not only creates a value for the employees, but it is a total value to the company in such a way that it would help the work process to move faster, creates a quality, much more quality kind of an output, makes sure that the employees are updating to the technological changes that is happening in the workplace and in the current market, and make sure that they give their contribution to the company and creates a value for themselves, and thereby creates a value for the organization as a whole. Thank you.